We were talking about Shanahan and the spread.
Oh,
and
right.
I look at the over-under at 47.5. Niners favored by 3, which tells me they're expecting 25-22, which is a bit of an obtuse score, but that kind of a ball game.
Yep.
And
that sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, and I think there will be weather. Steiny was trying to work through when the rain was going to come. Is it Eastern time or is it Pacific time? There will be rain. It's a question of when the rain shall fall, because we know this, Mark, your guy, he can't handle the rain.
Oh, I totally disagree.
I mean, your guy, Brock Purdy, he can't handle a wet ball.
I couldn't disagree more.
Back-to-back plays this year. He had one slip out of his hand.
Back-to-back plays. Did you hear him talk about the Cleveland situation? This man,
wet ball.
The man can you just put on a glove. He said the rain started in the middle of the drive.
Yeah.
And I felt a little unprepared, but we have a plan for this, and he has done it in practice a number of times. It rained like crazy right before the Seahawks playoff game. I believe the Niners scored over 40 points.
Last year, yeah.
He's fine.
We'll see.
He's fine. I'm not worried about the rain.
Your guy.
He just needs to be prepared for it.
Ball security issues. He's fumbled a lot himself, too, this year. Facts.
You're funny.
I should have bet this. North Carolina's rolling.
Hang on. I'm looking for I'm getting you the updated Philly weather report.
Okay.
Well, it's the exact same thing it said when we looked 3 days ago.
But when will the rain fall was the question. When?
You can't say that. It's 3 days from now. You're not going to get a real...
Oh, for sure.
You're not going to get
the Doppler.
I know, but you're not going to get an hour by hour that's accurate until the night before. I can tell you what they say right now. And you know how I love they say. It's my favorite. I used to say that to my mom all the time. You got to bring a jacket. They say it's going to be cold. I said, Mom, who are they? Tell them to stop talking. They don't know what they're to stop listening to these voices in your head. Who are they? Here's what they say, Dibs. It's a high of 55 and a low of 45. Okay. We've got 57% chance of precipitation. Overcast with rain showers at times. High near 55, winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Any quarterback will tell you that wind is worse than rain when it comes to throwing the ball. Chance of rain just south of 60%. Now, that's the Sunday day forecast. However, we know this game goes into night in Philadelphia.
Afternoon start.
4:25 kickoff local
good
time.
Call. It's good math.
45 degrees, showers in the evening, and partly cloudy overnight. The low of 45, winds out of the west. 5 to 10 miles an hour, chance of rain 50%. So the chance goes down as the clock goes on. Clock. There's nothing to worry about. It's not even that cold.
No, not.
Same temperature it is here.
Pretty good conditions. Yeah, it's been even colder than that in the mornings.
They're
but
fine.
Yeah, the key for me is the ability to avoid Philadelphia getting into third and short, because we know that third and short begats fourth and short. And when the Eagles get into fourth and short, you get everybody together and we start pushing each other's booty and they're getting 2 yards.
You want to hear about everybody talked about the tush push. I got 47
the brotherly shove, I think, is a better name for it.
Yeah, about the brotherly shove. Okay, first, so here's what Kyle said. This is how you deal with the brotherly shove.
We're going to do like 10 live reps of it today. See if we have anybody left after it. No, you don't practice it.
Prepare to deal with that. It's such a big part of there.
You coach it up, tell them where we want guys and stuff, and not going to spend a lot of time on it, but we're going to talk about it, show it, and do as good as we can.
There you go. You talk about it and stuff. That's how you solve it.
Yeah, basically what he's saying is to live rep it is dangerous, because then you're dealing with...
I think he was being sarcastic, don't you? That sounded like sarcasm to me.
It did, but then he said after it, he said, we're going to do like 10 live reps of it today and see if we have anybody left. No, we're not going to do that. He said right away, no, you don't practice it.
Yeah, I think he was feeding into the thought out there that it's a dangerous play. The interesting thing is I don't know, has anybody gotten hurt this year?
Yeah, the Giants had a couple guys get hurt on it.
They did?
Yeah.
Against the Eagles?
No, the Giants ran it and they had players get hurt.
Oh.
I think the greater point is Philadelphia and the brotherly shove or the tush push, whichever you prefer, they run it with an unbelievable level of efficiency.
Oh, my God, it's amazing.
And it's because their center, Jason Kelsey, is able to get low and get lower than you, and he leads the way, and it's a guaranteed yard, if not 2, every single time. So for me, the key to the entire game is getting them into third and medium.
I agree with that, although that's not terribly different than most football games. I get that you're saying this is a little bit of a steroided version of that, but in general, if you can average 4 yards a play, you're largely going to do pretty well in a football game. That's not a hard and fast rule, but if you can get to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, NFL teams are going to convert that at a very high level. If you're at 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 8, you're going to have a hard time. That's the way it is. Fred Warner, talk to us about tush push.
No secret sauce. I can't give away my game plan right now. I don't want to give too much away, but we'll try to have a plan for when they do run it.
I love it. There's no secret sauce, except for I have a secret sauce, and I'm not telling you.
Right. You don't get the secret sauce.
Nick Bosa.
The tush push has been a huge phenomenon, I suppose, in the NFL with the Eagles using it seemingly every week. Have you looked at tape on that? Have you looked into how to stop that?
Not much yet, no.
Greatest soundbite of the year. Soundbite of the year. We got a 12-second bite that's 11 seconds of the reporter being like, so they do this thing in Philadelphia. Yeah, not much. All right. Thanks, Nick. How about Steve Wilkes?
I feel like anytime we can get him in the fourth down, it's still encouraging. You know, we still have an opportunity, regardless that we know that they're going for it. So it's something that we've talked about as a staff. It's something that we definitely have worked on. So I'm not going to concede that we can't stop it. We're going to be prepared and ready for it.
I tell you what, I do hope that the Eagles get to 4th and 1 just once, just as I want to see it. I want to see it. Go do it against the best D-line in football. Let's see it.
Yeah, I mean, they are the league leaders in the NFL in 4th down conversion.
Of course.
13 of 17. They are converting 76.5% of their 4th downs, which is 10% higher than the team in second place.
Okay, but are those all their 4th downs or their 4th and 1s?
That's all 4th down conversions.
Okay, because 4th and 1 is way higher than 76%.
Right.
I feel like it's 99.2.
It's up there. It's in the 90s.
And by the way, the crazy thing about their 4th and 1, they don't just convert it, they get 7 yards.
Well, right.
It's bizarre.
And they even do it on 3rd and 1 at times.
Sure.
In the goal line. They do it on the goal line a lot. 3rd down conversions, the Eagles are 3rd best at 47.3. The Niners are 5th at 44.4.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's all good.
I mean, 3rd downs, we always talk about in football, it comes down to the turnover. You win the turnover battle, you win the game. That's true. But for me, in this game in particular, it comes down to the 3rd down conversions, because if you can get Philly into 4th and we can't tush push it, you're going to be in great shape.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. 3rd down efficiency is a huge number in a football game. Remember what Kirk Cousins did to the Niners on 3rd down? Just specifically on 3rd down. Felt sometimes like they had him at 3rd and 8 all the time. And he's like, here's 9 yards. Boop. It just over and over again.
They were 8 for 13 in that game, Mark. Minnesota was on
Vikings,
3rd down.
Yeah, it felt like they were 800 for 801. You got a Barry and Burlingame. Hi, Barry. What are you doing?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What's up?
Quickly, Mark, first of all, I'm going to miss you on Pac-12 studio football. You've been great all year.
Barry, thank you. And thank you for being one of the 7 people who watched us. No, Barry, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to miss it too. There's great people over there that did a lot of great work.
Yeah, it is. And the whole thing's a big shame, and I won't bother going into all that.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit on it tomorrow. That Washington-Oregon game, the last Pac-12 game of all time, is going to be a doozy. But anyway, go ahead, Barry.
Yeah. All right. 2 things. So, Dibs, you made a point earlier about winning a regular season game in a stadium, and that maybe that gives you confidence if you go back and play. And it reminded me that 2 years ago, the Niners went down to L.A. and got in the playoffs by beating the Rams at SoFi. I think it was week 18. And then they went back, whatever it was, 4 weeks later. And unfortunately, the second one didn't turn out as well. So I don't know how much of a factor that is. But I hope it doesn't matter. I hope they win both times. And the other point I wanted to just quickly make is, if you had said, all right, you've got 3 games against Seattle and Philly combined, with the Philly game sandwiched in between, and you were told you could win 2 of them, which two of the three would be the most important to you?
Okay.
The two Seattle games, Barry.
Well, normally, but in this case, no. And I'll tell you why. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it.
I'll tell you why. Because the Niners have already opened up a big enough lead on Seattle, and Seattle's about to get their doors blown off here in another 45 minutes. And
That's
so
speculative.
It is. But in about 4.5 hours, it won't be speculative anymore. And once that's the case, then I would argue that I would rather have the Philadelphia game versus the Seattle game the following week, just because it keeps the tiebreaker scenarios alive. The bottom line
for the number one seed.
Yeah, the bottom line, though, for the 49ers, I hate to say this, and this is another reason why I don't think anyone should lose any sleep over the 1 seed. The Niners need to not just beat Philly, they need to win all of their games. They need to win out.
To be the one.
Probably. Philadelphia's schedule after they take on the Niners in Dallas gets absurdly easy. Yes, they've got to go to Seattle. The Niners showed you last week that that's actually not that hard. And then I think they play the New York Giants 4 times in a row.
Twice.
Honestly.
With an Arizona in between.
They're not losing those games.
They close it out with DeVito, calamari, DeVito.
Hey, come on.
Italian food, seafood, Italian food.
If the Niners are lucky enough to get this parlay, they win Sunday, Dallas wins next Sunday, and the 49ers beat Baltimore on Christmas. They're lucky enough to get all that. They probably they can't blink in any of their other games. Seattle and Washington, and they have another Arizona in there.
Yep.
Or Rams.
And they have the Rams last game of the year.
They got to win all of those in order to maybe beat Philadelphia in a tie, in my opinion. So this is the fact, Jack. The Niners can win this Sunday. I still don't love their chances.
Yeah, and I do think that it's more important that you beat Seattle, and that's obviously pending tonight. If Seattle loses and the Niners lose to Philadelphia, you got a 2-game lead on Seattle. So even if Seattle beats you next week and the Niners fall to 8-5, and then Seattle would be 7-6, you still have a game in hand on Seattle.
Yeah,
and you have the tiebreaker on Seattle because you would still have a better division record than Seattle. Seattle would be 2-3 in the division. You would be 3-1 in this scenario.
Again, under normal circumstances, I agree with you. I just happen to think Seattle's going to get totally outclassed here tonight, and they're going to be gone. The Niners are going to win the NFC West. I feel like that's already. I don't want to get sound ridiculous here at this stage of the season. Outside of unthinkable injury, the Niners have already got the NFC West.
Spread's 9.5 tonight.
Yeah.
I just looked at Dallas by 9.5. And, the Niners should win.
Seattle's not that good.
If the Niners don't win the NFC West, it's a collapse even bigger than the Warriors at Sacramento.
Agreed.
And that would be a full-scale collapse. And the caller was mentioning the Niners at L.A., and how that kind of puts holes in my theory. I think that this trip to Philadelphia is different than a garden variety trip down to SoFi where you go every single year.
And the whole building is filled with your fans.
Basically.
By the way, the ticket people say little higher content of Niner fans this time around than in January.
Okay.
But still south of 30%.
Oh, I was going to say south of 20.
No, I think it was going to be 28. They're predicting.
That's pretty good.
Up from 18 or 19 last year. So higher level of Niner fans. Speaking of going to Philly, let's go to Philly right now. Here comes a predictable take. Watch this. Hey, Butch. How you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the show.
A-C-L-E-S, Eagles! Brock Purdy stinks!
It's a good call, Butch. It's a good call.
What else you got, Butch?
Yeah, did you have a point?
Going down. San Fran people are losers.
Okay. Anything else?
Yano County stinks.
Okay. What else? Oh, there you go. Gone. He called the wrong show.
Call the day, maybe.
He might be. He called the wrong show. There are other shows that would have been bothered by that.
Did he say YOLO County stinks?
I don't even know.
What do you got against YOLO County?
Not in the Bay Area.
Yeah, but you only live once. So
Hard to argue
It's
with.
true in all counties.
Look at you.
They're all Yolo County, Lucas. All of them.
My fault.
All of them.
Man, that guy really got my goat, Mark.
Tell you what, I'm so frustrated now.
He called it San Fran.
He did.
I tell you what.
I hate it when people do that.
That's offensive.
I'm angry right now.
I am so mad.
I want to really, really punch an Eagles fan now.
I'm going to call the Philly station during the break and get even with that fan base.
I have had it with this entire city and everything green. I am very upset.
Kate Scott is no longer getting a Christmas card from me.
And by the way, that Tony Bruno guy never taught me anything. Forget him.
He is also dead to me, Mark.
How'd we do with our trash talk? How did it go? Did it go well?
I'll keep that to myself.
Champ's down on us.
Seriously.
You happy now?
This guy.
Champ it up.
This guy got himself all revved up. It's 7:39 over there. The guy had 6 White Claws, and he's like on a dare. He's like, hey, Bobby, you know what we should do? Let's call the San Francisco radio station.
I'm going to call him San Fran.
And I'm going to scream, Brock Purdy sucks. It'll be so funny.
Great.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, well,
What are we doing here?
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yeah. Pajimski. I'm going to call
Pawlowski.
that guy.
Pajowski?
Pajowski. The Poughkeepsie kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. That only works if we watch football the same way y'all do. And we don't.
Well,
and by the way, I'm not talking about.
it's because we're soft.
Yeah, I know. This is not talking about.
You know what happened, Mark, on that call? We got served.
We did. We got served.
We got owned.
Gosh, man, it hurts, Dibs.
Real quick.
It hurts. Yeah, real
And we
quick.
can get into this more on the other side, but
we sure can.
because this game feels big enough to where it might be a like a Mark serving dip kind of game. What's your game plan for this game?
Well,
Are we having a dip? Is it Watch Party Willard in effect?
I will be doing.
What are you
not only
doing?
what I normally do, but I'll do it even more. I will be going to Safeway probably 3 times before the game, and then when the game starts, then especially with that late start, I got to get after it fast.
Oh, because you got your show.
The show's going to start like 10 minutes after this game ends.
Well,
Is
it's
this gonna be a
possible
long one?
overtime.
No, don't do that.
Last Sunday we got into.
I know. I don't want to watch overtime with Kyle Rudolph. He's a nice guy, but I don't want to. That's too stressful. It's funny. I've heard from a few people. They're like, why don't you flex this and put the Niner Eagle game on Sunday night? Why don't you shut up?
Yeah.
Because I don't like that. I don't like when the Niner
I actually
game.
learned about flexing last week. They don't flex games in. They only flex out. So they're not going to take the best game and flex it in. They only flex when the game is a game that they want to get out of.
I think it's actually a little bit of both. Here's why. You're right. You flex out, but you flex out based on what is unprotected. It's almost like Rule 5 draft.
And I know we got a Monday Night Flex that just got announced.
Yes, which is a new thing this year, that Monday night can even be flexed.
Yeah.
And so you flex out. They got rid of the Chiefs-Patriots game, and they replaced it with
an Eagle game, I think.
Seattle and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Seattle and the Eagles. Yeah. So that's fun. That's cool, but that's because that game was unprotected by Fox, I would assume.